Hi guys, and welcome back to World of Tanks, and today we're going to be looking at something a little bit different that I wasn't going to look at, but with the news that the new Chinese tanks are going to be coming on, and I believe it's going to be next Tuesday, but I could be wrong. I thought we'd have a look at the Tier 8 Premium Heavy from the Chinese line, the 112. Now I picked this one up about a week or two ago, a couple of weeks ago, it might even be 3 now. When they had it on the store as sort of an early access, a bit like they did with the Japanese vehicles, the Chinukai and the STA2. And I like it. On paper, not brilliant. I mean, when you look at it on paper and compare it to, let's say, the IS-6, which is probably the closest thing to it. I mean, obviously you can also compare it to the IS-3 as well. But I'm saying the IS-6 because that's also a Tier 8 Premium Heavy. This comes off worse. I think it comes off worse with the rate of fire on the gun, if I remember rightly. In fact, let's have a look. Let's go into the packages. 4.5 rounds a minute, 178 pen, 390 damage, 3.4 aiming time, and 0.46 accuracy. They are very similar to the Russian tanks in regards of gun performance, and in fact armour performance. In fact, they are just very, very similar to the Russian tanks. Let's have a look at the IS-6. Oh, it doesn't tell me on there, but it's a 122mm gun again, and I believe it comes out at 175 390, just the same as the Chinese one, and it's got a rate of fire of 5.13. I can't see the accuracy on there though, but let's have a look at the other stuff. Armour on the IS-6, 100 on the front, 100 on the sides, 60 on the rear, 150 turret front and sides, and 100 on the rear. And let's go back and look at the 112. But as you could see, the IS-6 has slightly better rate of fire. Now the 112, we've got 120 on the front, 80 on the sides, 60 on the rear, and the turret is 240 on the front. I think it's 180 on the sides and 60 on the rear. The rear is pretty goddamn awful, to be honest. But the actual the frontal armour, 120mm, even though it doesn't sound a lot, just look at the angle. That is a really, really good angle. And I mean, that would be best used if you crest a hill with this thing and increase that angle. You know, cresting over a hill, hold down. That'd be an auto bounce zone. However, you can't do that in this tank because it has god awful gun depression, as does nearly every Chinese tank. It is something you're going to have to get used to. Is awful gun depression. But apart from that, this tank actually performs pretty well. And like I say, on paper, it doesn't, you know, look as though it should perform as well as the IS-6, but it does perform pretty well. With its inaccurate gun and its strong turret, it's really good at close-up, hull-down sort of manoeuvres on maps like Himmelsdorf, where you can get behind some rubble and you're in the city streets and your targets are quite close. Not a particularly good sniper because of the accuracy, but it is also good as a brawling tank. The engine is a little bit underpowered at 580 horsepower, and the traverse isn't brilliant, but it does make a really good brawler, and that turret is super bouncy. I took on an E75 in this thing not long after I'd got it, and obviously I saw the E75, started panicking a little bit because they are a good tank, put a shot into its lower glacis, penetrated. I don't think it liked that because it then charged me and decided to then face hug me. Now I don't have an E75 in my garage to sort of show you the height comparison. I mean, I've got a Panther, which is quite a high tank, I suppose. Let's have a look. See, that's your Panther 88, and then if I can flick back to the 112, you can see it's lower down. Now while this E75 was face hugging me, it was shooting down into my turret. Obviously people hadn't seen these things, so they didn't know the weak spots, and it just kept bouncing. And I could aim up at his turret, at his commander's hatch, and just keep putting shot after shot into his commander's hatch until he died. And I think out of the whole encounter I lost maybe a third of my health, so I was quite happy with that one. The lower glacis quite a large target. It's not too bad because, like I say, the hull is quite low to the ground. But you need to protect your lower glazes in this thing, and the main difference between this and the I think it's the IS-6 is the IS-6 has a large driver's hatch on the front of the hull, which is a weak spot. This one doesn't, but it does have a large commander's hatch on the top of the turret, which is a weak spot. Other similarities: the IS around the sides, you can just see that triangular area just above the tracks, and you can see the line of it goes down the side, and you can see it at the front there, that triangle area. That is spaced armour, so if anything hits you there, there's a good chance it's going to get eaten up, and if anything hits you there from the front, I think it's a no-hit zone. So it will hit, but it will do 0 damage, even if it penetrates. Like I say, turret is super bouncy. I'm trying to think if there's anything else to talk about. We've spoken about the gun. Yeah, we've spoken about the gun. 4.55. Yeah, aiming time 3.4. Like I say, 0.46 on the accuracy. So it is quite a brawler. Oh, sorry, it's not 180 on the side of the turrets. It's 130, but it is still very bouncy because it's rounded. One thing that I have noticed is that it can sometimes act as a bit of a shot trap. Rebounds from the hull can sometimes go up through the bottom of the turret, and again, certain areas at the front of the turret can force them down into the top of the hull, but it doesn't seem to happen very often at all. Equipment wise, the equipment that I've got on it actually came with it. Tank gun rammer, which you need because the reload is awful, vertical stabilizer, and a gun lane drive, which just improves that awful aiming time. I am possibly tempted to remove the gun lane drive though and put vents on it. I'm not 100% at the minute, but all in all, it is a pretty good tank actually, yeah. And if you like your in-your-face brawling manoeuvres, then I'd say this is possibly the tank for you. But enough for talking about it in the garage. Let's just go into the replays and see how it goes on. And here we are, we're on port, standard battle, and it's a tier 8 matchup. One thing I did forget to mention were the heat rounds that you could put on this gun, and they take your penetration up from 175 to 250. Now my main problem with heat rounds are that you have to fire them at pretty much a flat surface, otherwise they're just going to bounce, and it's a lot of cash if they bounce, I'm afraid. I also forgot to mention top speed, which is 45 kilometers an hour, which isn't bad, but like I say, the engine is underpowered, so when you're on flat level ground it does get up, you know, to speed quite quickly in a straight line, but when you turn or you go up any sort of incline, you notice that sort of underpowered engine. Its view range is 380 meters, which is alright, I think, actually. It's not too bad. But right, let's see how it performs. Oh, and traverse speed, 26 degrees on your hull and 26 degrees on your turret. So, with me being the top tier heavy, well, we've got a couple of tier 8s in here, but sort of, you know, up there, I'm going to head up this, the one line down the western side of the map, which is normally where the main force of their heavies makes a push. So it's sort of where they come to fight on this map. Let's see what we can see. So we've got a tiger up here. No, he's not behind that wall. I think he's behind the buildings. Let's go through and get him. Well, yeah, this is an in-your-face. Here he is. Bang. Put one in the front. It's a nice solid hit. Do some damage to his engine as well. Didn't set him on fire, unfortunately. Now you can see with the tank gun rammer, the reload has picked up a little bit, but it's still 11 seconds. I'm not sure where that one went through. Another nice solid hit through his lower glacis, damage his engine again. You need to protect your lower glacis in this thing, and those commander's hatches as well. You see there, that one went through as well. I think he put that straight into the lower glacis. See if we can pop out and put a nice solid hit into him there. A nice bounce. I don't really want to go out straight sideways, but he missed, and finish him off. I've lost nearly 500 health, I think that is. Oh, there's an IS here. Let's put one into his engine. Missed and got the gas tank. Angle it slightly. You do have to be careful side scraping against some of the tier 9s. Oh, the other thing about this is it gets preferential matchmaking. So you'll never see anything higher than a tier 9 in it. And he tried to ram me, so I'll return the favour, but I just can't get up enough speed. Reload. And no problem. See what I mean? It is sort of an in-your-face brawler. It's not a sniper. I mean, in a pinch, you can hit stuff at, you know, quite a distance, but don't rely on it. You need to get in there. And you really need to try and protect your hull more and use your turret, because your turret is super bouncy. The irony being that if you're at a distance and they can't... Ooh. AT-15, put one into his back, damages ammo rack. Something just hit me then, and I think it went straight through my upper glacis. Kill my driver. Bounce, take another bounce. Was that from the AT-15? See, no penetration. See, that one, I think went through the lower glacis again. I don't really want to be facing him straight on like that. Try and hit his hatch. His little machine gun. Yeah, I'm in trouble now. Don't really want to be facing him dead on, because he can just shoot into my lower glacis and penetrate it quite easily. Try and back off a bit. Put another one into that machine gun port. I think I got another bounce from him then, which was lucky, and probably only because I was angling against him. Yeah, that one went through again. And he's just rammed me, put another one into there, and that finishes him off, thankfully, but I am in a very, very bad way on 55 health. So if you can protect your lower glacis, you will bounce a lot of shots off your upper plate. And if you can get hull down in this, you will bounce loads off your turret. But yeah, I am not in a very good way now. Oh, I always forget about those pipes right behind that wall. There's not many left, that's it, we've finished him off. So not a brilliant round, but you'll see the money making potential of this thing. And there you go. 3,959 damage done, first class mastery, high caliber, and well, a sniper. Well, that's only because I was just up close and in the face, so I couldn't really miss. Take off 1,500 for that op, and you can take off 10,000, I think it is, for that one as well, but still 129,000 credits for one match, and not a very good match at that. That's the money earning potential of this thing, but you really do need to protect that lower glacis. On top of the table, which is nice. As you can see, 12 shots fired, 12 hits, 11 penetrations. I bounced one off that AT-15, I think it was, off the front of him. But yeah, nice amount of silver earned. It is a good tank for earning silver. As long as you can keep hitting them, you'll consistently do decent damage. But you do need to try with a lot of tanks to get around the side because of that slightly lower penetration. And here we have the next match, another tier 8 match. Standard battle on Scorpion Pass. And you'll see with this one, I do come to a sticky end in it. The people that come with me for support, they end up getting sort of picked off, and I get left on my own and surrounded. But you'll see the bounciness of some of this armour. I'll start going down this way, and I'm not quite sure which way to go, but I see it's a little bit thin going along that towards that northwestern side, so I decided to turn around. We've got plenty of people going that way, so I'll turn around and go up here and try and give a bit of support to these guys. Now I must say, I don't really care for this map much. It's not too bad. I don't know. something about it, I'm not quite keen on this map. But looking back in retrospect at this replay, I think I may have possibly made the wrong decision to turn around and come this way. I mean, obviously I die, so yeah, I'm going to think it's the wrong decision, but I just think that I possibly could have been more effective and more useful carrying on the way that I actually went originally. Well, as you can see, I mean, we're cruising along up there at sort of 20 and it's picking up speed now, so I mean, it's not too bad, the engine. It does just struggle a bit going up the hills. Oh, there's the first encounter. Then down towards the middle of the map, but we have got a medium up here. Let's see if we can get across there and start doing some damage to some enemy tanks. One thing I did notice when I bought this tank, and you know, I've not played in it loads, I've not even worked up my first cruise skill on it yet, so that sort of gives you an idea of how little I've really played in it. But since I bought this tank, you don't really see many of them. I've only ever seen maybe another 4 or 5 in the last sort of 3 weeks, and it went on with another one. I think it was the T-34-3, which is basically this tank with slightly less armour, the same gun. Still a tier 8, but it's a medium. You don't see many of them, and yeah, donked my first shot. He more or less filled my entire aiming circle, yet it still went into the floor. Although I think that was probably more me than the actual gun itself. Get the next one into him though, through there, damage it, and you can see the bouncers coming off it from the Tiger. I mean, tier 7s, you can pretty much, you can't just bully these things a lot. Move back a little bit, angle my armour against as many as I can, but there's a Tiger in front of me, Churchill 3 up there, which is the Russian premium one, but he's just bouncing off. This Tiger's my biggest threat. I think there's an A43 milling about on the side. As you can see, it's damaging my tracks, but it's just bouncing. Finish that Tiger off with that shot. Lovely. A T-43, not an A43. I think that's my tracks eating it again. Yeah, tracks get blown off by the Churchill. It's about the only thing that can actually do to me. But that T-43 is doing a little bit of damage. And that Churchill just keeps blowing my tracks off, and I don't really feel like sitting here, so put a nice shot into his side, set him on fire, always a bonus. And now the T-43 blows my tracks off. Get repairs for this tank, as with every other heavy tank. Repairs, track repairs, anything you can do to improve that track repair. This is my dirt moment, I didn't realise my tracks were back up. I thought I'll finish off him, then move round the corner and take that T-43, and then he blows my tracks off again. And then I get hit in the rear by something, and I think, Christ, what am I going to do now? Let's see if we can take him, but he's just docking in and back out. GW Tiger's having a go now and blows my tracks off. Something hits me in the rear again, and it's the new motherland, and that's me gone. So yeah, if I hadn't have derped it and realised that my tracks were actually back up, that probably would have gone a lot better. But we'll skip to the end. We lost that one, but even on a loss, 73,000 credits, 2,500 damage, just shy of. Again, take 1,500 off, so that's 1,259 XP, and 73,000 credits on a loss with this tank. So its money earning potential is pretty good. As you can see there, 36 hits received, 26 non-penetration. A lot of damage blocked. I know there were lower tiers, but there you go. That's the 112. So if you like an in-your-face brawler that can make a lot of money for you, I'd definitely recommend it. And if you're looking for something to train your Chinese crews, it'll work with that as well. So I hope you've enjoyed what you see. Take care on the battlefield, and I shall catch you next time.
Today's high near 57 degrees. Tonight, more cloud cover with a low of 4.